Mm, share screen. Okay. So my screen is visual for you. Hello.
Yeah, I can see your screen.
Okay. Fine. So this is the doc, right? So this is the API that I have created as a common API, but the last one, wiki and doc edit. That API I'm not able to find on the GitHub API. So that also posted on the Stack Overflow. Is it possible to get a GitHub wiki content by GitHub API? So that answer is not useful. So now, so these four PRs, lines of code, comments on PR, and comments on issue that I have created as common API. So that I just wanted to show. So this is the API that I have created. First, PRs. Second, lines of code. Third, comments on PR, and fourth, comments on issues. So these are the data that I have created in the in the common API call. So just I wanted to show the code. This is the code base where I have written all those business logic. So when you will see the business logic, these are the business logic. These created in these written in the ES6. These all code written in the ES6, Sigma 6. So when you will start the server is already started. I am again going to start the server. So these are the calling, and that I have already put on the GitHub. Uh, that data that I will share with you. So that data has come. So PRs, lines of code, comments on PR, comments on issue.
Okay, and so you're just fetching. Are you fetching the intersect of like the project and the user, or like what is the logic that you're running?
Okay. So what logic I am using here? So first, so these are functions which I am calling. So only this is the function that I am calling. Under the get matrix, I am calling the four different method functions. First, get pull request, get lines of code, get comments, comment on PR, and get comment on issues. So these the API that I am calling. This is a GitHub API that I am calling through that functions.
Yeah,
So
but what are the
huh,
parameters?
so when you will see the get pull request, right? So this is the get pull request, right? So here I am using the base URL. What is the base URL? When you will see the .env file, so here I have put the base URL, right? Base URL repositories. What is your repository? What is your username, password, protocols? What is your protocol and server port? So here I am using the base URL first, and then your path. What will be the path, right? Path we cannot make the static. Why? Because path, it can be a different, right? Suppose I am getting the repository. So right now it is repository, it is fine. So this is the static for now, but it may be some I want to use branch and all. So that's why I haven't take as a environment file. So after that, username, and then your repository that I'm getting from the dynamic environment file and pull. So this is the your URL where I'm getting the pull request. Here the password, your password header. So this is the public URL, and this is the request method. Request method that will help to call a third party API from the Node.js server. So here I am getting the result. and where I am returning a callback. So that callback will give as a result from here.
Okay, and so if we wanted to use parameters, because what we want is the not just the pull requests or the lines of codes, but like probably we want to run metrics on that. And because right now, like you're not really getting metrics, right? Like you're just forwarding the answer of the GitHub API. So
So
that's my first
what I am returning here. So I
question.
am ready for now. I am returning the all data, right? All data of the GitHub.
Hmm.
What data is coming from the GitHub API. So now when we will create a matrix now, then only only we will get those particular key which it is required to make a matrix, and rest of the data that we will ignore. These are the some data are useful, and some data will not useful to create a matrix, right? So that we will ignore at the time of creation of matrix, right? But
Okay.
currently I am returning the all data in the PR, and you will see the PR, and when you will see the lines of code, and when you will see the comments on PR. So currently I am returning the all data which is coming from the GitHub API. So when you will see the code now, so code I am totally using the ES6 Igma 6. I'm not using the ES5. All those code are the Igma 6. So that I am using the standard format Igma 6. These are the separate APIs called different method. Every method is commented properly.
Okay. And so
Mm-hmm.
if you wanted to add parameters, if I wanted to run, because right now it's running
Any
with
API,
a small
suppose you
test
want
environment.
to suppose you want to any other API na, only you need to add that
No, no, no.
method.
I want to
Mm-hmm.
get the pull request for my GitHub account and
Hmm.
another repository. I don't want to have
Okay.
to set it in an environment.
Okay. You need to put your this the base URL will be common. You can use your repository name here.
Yeah,
You
but
can
I don't want to use an environment variable. I want to have the
you
goal
want
is to have a node server that can like return this information, right? So like
uh,
how would you make it this non-static but like have
okay.
parameters
So
instead?
you don't want to this environment file, right? This environment.
No, I mean the server pod maybe, the base URL maybe, but then what I want is be able to.
Repository. Suppose your repository name is test, right?
Yeah,
And your username will be a something sample, right? And your password will be also this the test sample that you can change here, and your API will be work. So I have Mac as a dynamic. There is no will be a stop. When you will to use the repository name, username, you can change here, and your API will be work. So that's why I have Mac as a dynamic. I haven't used as a static anywhere.
yeah, I
So
understand,
that
but
yeah,
what
so
most
that
likely
any
like
uh-huh. Yeah, go ahead.
the use case for a tool like that is to act as most likely a node server that you can ping to get the information that you want, right? So you as you started doing, like you implement the business logic, and then either from our front end or somewhere else, we hit this node
Hmm.
server and get the information. And right now, like if like if we need the password or like if we need all this information in an environment variable, then we cannot use it as an API ourselves.
Only you can use the environment variable, and when you want to protect that password, na, then also we can encrypt that password. We can write one script so that we can that will be encrypted. Suppose XXXX, and the scripting file that convert a password and will call that API. So not an issue to expose the password and all.
Okay, I see. Um, Great. Have you been able to share the code with me?
Yeah, yeah, definitely I can share with you.
Okay,
So this the I have uploaded and I have written a README file that will help for you.
perfect.
This is the README file, right? So what you need to do, everything instruction is here. GitHub API of the user activities, pre-request, what will be the pre-request requirement, and after you need to follow the following step. These are the step, right?
Okay,
So that will help for you. So I will after the call I will share that one. Okay,
okay,
and
sounds
this is the public URL that you can able to get.
okay,
This is the my email ID and this is the repository name.
okay, sounds good.
Yeah, and definitely when we will create the actual now, definitely we will make the proper UI and we will go with the instead of REST now. I think better we can go with the GraphQL. The GitHub API also export the GraphQL API. So I would suggest that we can go with the GraphQL API, Eric. So what will the benefit? What will be the benefit now? Suppose when we will create a matrix now, user matrix. So only those field, those key we will get, which is required for the matrix. Suppose when we are calling the REST API, now these are the data are coming right from the server, right?
Yeah,
So avoid these the data. Only we will get those data which is required to create matrix. Rest of the data that we can ignore from the GraphQL, but we cannot able to ignore through the REST API. So better we will go with the GraphQL, that one. So that we can control with the fragment. The fragment one of the functionality in the GraphQL, so that we can able to control the fields. When you will see the GraphQL APIs, so yeah, this is also available in the GraphQL.
yeah, yeah. Not
These are
everything, but like a lot of it
hmm,
is available.
mutation, GraphQL queries, and all. So
Okay,
actual development, when we will do the actual development, then we will go through the GraphQL.
okay, sounds good.
And Rick, one more question here.
Yeah,
Why you are using React here instead of Angular?
sorry. Why are we using React?
Why we are choose the React here front as a front end?
Yeah.
May I
Uh,
know the reason?
yeah. We started with React because we in the team we had most experience with React than Angular, so it made sense to choose this as a technology. Are you more
Mm.
familiar with Angular?
Sorry,
Are you more familiar with Angular?
I'm familiar with the React and Angular as well. So why I'm asking this question, ki why you are using the React? So when you will see now, Angular JS and Angular new Angular, Angular 2 and Angular 7. Currently it is going on 7 to 8. So Angular 2 is a totally copy of the React with enhancement of the React, right? So there is some in the React when you will see now. So there is some scope that getting a mismatch in the component. There is creating some complicated when you will create a directive and all. So there is some complicated way. But in Angular, there's lots of way that you can create the directive and all. So it is more flexible as compared to React, as per my understanding.
I see.
So yeah.
I think right now, like we haven't like hit any particular limitations with React, so I think that's what we're gonna keep using for now. On, but we might.
Not an issue if you choose na React, then also we will work with the React. Not an issue. But that is my suggestion.
Yeah, yeah, I understand. Great.
Mhm.
Okay, thank you. I think yeah, in terms of next steps, definitely I'd love to see the code. So if you can just like either through
Mhm.
Sapphire directly, like send me an email with the GitHub link, and
Yeah,
then
yeah,
I'll try and
definitely.
review it and see if I have like more questions on the code,
Yeah, yeah,
and then
definitely.
we'll see from there.
Oh, okay. So before sharing the code, is it required to take any info from the code? What is the config? Should I need to give some info of that code?
I mean the README should be fine. No, I think it should be enough.
Okay, fine.
Up to you.
Okay, so fine. I will share that code.
Great. Yeah, and I hope to get back to you probably next week, like maybe Tuesday.
Okay, fine.
Cool.